ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome to IBC Siksha. We will continue our Bhagavad Gita reading. We just started the 14th chapter and we were discussing yesterday some points. Just let me recap a little bit. Okay. So we were discussing about three modes of material nature, right? Sattva gun, Rajagun and Tamas gun. How to understand these three things? By this picture. What is this picture showing? Who are these three people? Who are these three people? Who are these three persons here? Can you hear me? Who are these three persons in the picture? Can you hear me? Hello? Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
So who are these three persons in this picture?
One is Ravana. One more is Kumbhakarna. One more is Rama, Lakshman, Hanuman.
No, that's fine. This one. Here. Three brothers in Ramayana.
Three brothers. Don't know, Prabhuji.
Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishan.
Vibhishan, okay.
Yeah. So Ravana, he was mostly into which mode? Mode of passion. And Kumbhakarna was mode of
Ignorance.
ignorance. Oh. And Vibhishan, which mode
Mode
he
of
is?
goodness. Goodness. Mode of goodness.
Goodness. Yeah. So by knowing the activities of these three personalities, right, we can say, we can understand this mode of goodness. Okay. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Just by knowing the activities of these three personalities. So we'll go ahead, we'll check here. What is goodness? It is pure, it is illuminating, without sinful reactions. Passion, too much of desires, hankering. Ignorance, delusion, getting confused. One is happy in mode of goodness, one is active in mode of passion, one is helpless in mode of ignorance. And the knowledge and happiness is there in mode of goodness. Fruitive work, what will I get out of it? You know, extreme endeavors, these are in mode of passion. And in mode of ignorance, it is sleep, indolence, sanity. So if you just compare these qualities with these three personalities, they match, right? So we were reading through this many points, and I had asked one question. So oh, I didn't open the document. Hmm. Yeah. So we just read the mode of passion. Again, we will read the translation. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than others, is illuminating and is free ones from all sinful reaction. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by sense of happiness and ignorance. Mode of passion. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires, longing, O son of Kunti, and because of this, embodied living entity is bounded to material fruitive action. Okay. Can someone read this purport?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead.
The mode of passion is characterized by attraction between men and women. Women as attraction for men, and men as attraction for women. This is called mode of passion. And when the mode of passion is increased, one developed the anchoring for material enjoyment. He wants to enjoy sense gratification. For sense gratification, a man in a mode of passion wants some honor in the society or in the nation, and he wants to have a happy family with nice children, wife, and house. These are the products of mode of passion. As long as one is anchoring after these things, he has to work very hard. Therefore, it is clearly stated that here that he becomes associated with the fruits of his activities and thus become bound by such activities. In order to please his wife, children, society, and to keep up his prestige, one has to work. Therefore, the whole material world is more or less in the mode of passion. Modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standard of mode of passion. Formerly,
The
the
advanced
advanced
condition.
condition was considered to be in mode of goodness. If there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in mode of passion?
Hmm. We'll come back to this, but we'll just go read this one also. Can you read this translation and purport?
Yes, Prabhuji. O son of Bharata, know that mode of darkness, born out of ignorance, is a delusion of all embodied living entities. The result of this mode are madness, indulgence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul.
Go ahead.
Purport. In this verse, the specific application of the word tu is very significant. This means that the mode of ignorance is very peculiar qualification of the embodied soul. Mode of ignorance is just opposite of mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, by development of knowledge, one can understand what is what. But mode of ignorance is just opposite. Everyone under the spell of mode of ignorance become mad, and a madman cannot understand what is what. Instead of making advancement, one becomes degraded. Mode of definition of mode of ignorance is stated in Vedic literature. Vastu yatatma gnana varakam viparyaya gnana janakam tamaha. Under spell of ignorance, one cannot understand thing as it is. For example, everyone can see that his grandfather has died, and therefore he will also die. Man is mortal. The children that he conceives will also die. So death is sure. Still, people are madly accumulating money, working very hard all day and night, not caring for eternal spirit. This is madness. In their madness, they are very reluctant to make advancement in the spiritual understanding. Such people are very lazy. When they are invited to associate for spiritual understanding, they are not much interested. They are not even active like man, who is controlled by mode of passion. Thus, another symptom of one embedded in the mode of goodness to mode of ignorance is that he sleeps more than is required. 6 hours of sleep is sufficient, but man in the mode of ignorance sleeps at least 10 or 12 hours a day. Such a man appears to be always dejected and is addicted to intoxicants and sleeping. These are symptoms of person conditioned by mode of ignorance.
Okay, good. Okay, we'll discuss some things. One is mode of goodness, another one is mode of passion, and then there is mode of ignorance. Okay. Now, if you go to the purport, there are few things that are said here, and I want you to answer some questions. A mode of goodness is a Brahmana. Okay, Brahmana is there, philosopher, scientist. Philosopher, scientist, Brahmana. Mode of passion, Kshatriya, that is a fighter. Earning money, a businessman. Expecting honor, respect, right? That's what we read, right? Taking care of wife and children, right? That's what we read, right? In the mode of passion. In the mode of ignorance, sleep is there, intoxicants is there. Okay. Now these modes are called as gunas means rope. So they are binding us, they are binding us, like we discussed yesterday. They are binding us, they are influencing us. Basically, if we are bounded by that, then our movements, everything is being restricted, right? So these three modes actually restrict us, they influence us, like suits. In the rightmost suit, we can't even walk properly. In the leftmost, we can do a lot of things. In the middle, we have some freedom, and there is some restriction here. So like this, the three modes, they wrap us around, and then they influence us. Okay. um where is our point? Yeah. So in mode of goodness, we'll find philosophers, scientists, brahmanas. In mode of passion, we'll find kshatriyas, businessmen, normal people. In mode of ignorance, we'll find sleep, intoxicants, all that. Now my question to you: mode of goodness is like a gold rope, and mode of passion is like silver rope, and mode of ignorance is like iron rope. Instead of rope, I can put it chain also. It's a gold chain. Silver is like a silver chain, and this is an iron chain. Okay. Now, yesterday we discussed, suppose we are bounded by a gold chain. Is it freedom? We are tied by a gold chain. Is it freedom? Is it a good situation to be in? Yes. Anyone? Is it a good
No, no,
situation?
Prabhu.
No.
No,
Okay.
Prabhu.
So whether it be gold chain, silver chain, or iron chain, we are always bounded. So we understand. that there is a problem with goodness, there is a problem with passion, there is a problem with ignorance, right? None of the three can give us liberation. Mukti cannot be given. Okay, now my question is, we are talking about philosophers, scientists, and brahmana. Now if somebody wants to become, let's say, philosopher, scientist, or a brahmana, and they may act in this mode of goodness, how we can uh, still, you know, um, let them do these things and still achieve liberation? How? Or let's say yesterday I asked about the fighter, so let's start with the fighter first. So let's say some boy wants to become a fighter, boy or a girl wants to become a fighter, and we come to know passion means there is misery, right? People fight, there is misery, there's pain. There is too much of endeavor. They have to climb huge mountain, kill so many people, so there's huge much of lot of endeavor is there, okay, to become a fighter. Now if somebody wants to become a fighter, are you going to encourage or are you going to discourage?
We can encourage the person to work in the mode of spirituality.
Now how he can work in the mode of spirituality and still be a fighter?
Like he could follow dharma, and he could he could work for the nation, being a fighter.
Yeah. So the point is these modes are there, but if they are guided by dharma, then they may be bounding us, but they will eventually help us. Okay. So I've used this for Kshatriya. So what is the Kshatriya dharma? What do you know about Kshatriya dharma?
To follow dharma uh, and raise voice against adharma.
If you put in other words, it means to use violence to protect the weak from the evil.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if anybody is having a mentality of being fighter or something, then we should say you should do fighting for this dharma. What is the Kshatriya dharma? To protect the weak from the evil. Then you can use violence. Now suppose someone wants to become a businessman. Not everyone wants to become fighter. Someone wants to become businessman also, right? We see so many kids and all, they are like too much business minded, right? And they start doing business. So now, how? What is the dharma for that businessman? If you have to guide them, okay, become a businessman by following the dharma. So now you tell me, what is the dharma for them for earning money? For fighter, we said uh,
Yeah.
dharma
They
is
could.
to protect the weak from evil. Hmm? Use violence to protect the weak from the evil. Okay. Now for businessman, he's mode of passion, right? He's going to do a lot of endeavors. What is the maximum loan that you have taken in the call? Whoever is, how much? What's the loan value that you have taken anytime in your life from the bank or from your relatives? Yes. How much loan have you taken, or you have not taken yet any loan? Have you ever
Not
borrowed?
taken, Prabhuji, not taken.
You have not taken. Have you ever borrowed money from your parents or friend?
That is minimum amount,
How much
not
it
much.
is? What was the maximum amount that you took? 100 rupees, 200, 1 lakh? How much?
Like in thousands only, 2,000,
2000,
10,000 like
3000.
that.
Okay. Any other value?
No, 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 no other value.
No, no, I'm asking anyone else wants to say something. Okay. So a businessman, he takes a risk, and what is the loan that they take? Do you know what's the amount of loan that they take from bank? What kind of risk they take? A minimum of 10 crores to 1000 crores. Can you imagine? they take this much of loan. You can imagine what a kind of risk they take. Now if somebody wants to do business and they're going to take this kind of risk, and we already have examples of businessmen failing to pay back and all, right? So now how are you going to guide them in their dharma? That is my question. How are you going to guide them in their dharma? What if someone's son or daughter says, I want to do business, and they will say, okay, there are two types of business I heard, father. One is I can sell alcohol, and second is I can sell software, or I can sell some shoes or clothing or pani puri. Which one you're going to tell them to do?
Pani Puri, Prabhuji.
Why not alcohol?
Alcohol, it gives bad karma.
Yeah, so now what is the dharma? On what basis are you saying don't do alcohol business? But then the child will say, no, alcohol business 80% profit. Even in
One of
COVID it
my
will work.
friend, his father, actually, they took the syndicate, Prabhuji.
Okay.
One of my BTech friend.
Uh-huh.
But after they earn some money, and after that, they given commission to government officials also. There is no profit they is selling. But that bad karma, their mother got cancer or something, and
Okay.
his mother died.
Okay. So now you tell me, what is the dharma for a businessman? It's very simple. Do legal business for welfare of others, right? That is the guiding principle, right, for a businessman. You can do business, you can earn, but do it legally, no crime. And second thing, it should be for welfare of others. Lok sangraha. Now does that make sense? Yes or no?
But for wines also, they will keep Bhavani wines.
No, what I'm
they,
saying
they will
what I'm
give.
saying, you see, when we talk about
They will
alcohol
tell
and
if
all,
you will tell to them now, what they will tell is we are.
so we are, so wait. See, we are telling to do welfare. So we already know that intoxicants is actually mode of ignorance. It's going to become madness. And there's a lot of karma, is what you said, which is right. So we'll say do business. There is no problem. Do legal business. Okay. And second thing, it should be for welfare of others. Your intoxicant business, it's not going to be welfare of others. Cigarette business is not going to be welfare of others. BD business is not going to be welfare of others. It will kill people, right? So that is the dharma of business. You should do legal business, and that should be for welfare of others. You know that? Okay. Now, expect honor, respect. Should one expect any honor or respect? If we don't get, then should we fight for it? You didn't give me respect. What is the guiding principle for this? See, point to why I'm discussing this is because we need to understand that everyone, that someone may want to become a fighter, someone may want to take care of wife and children, but then Bhagavad Gita is saying that it is mode of passion, it will lead to misery and all that. Then how do we reconcile whether to take care or not, whether to do this or not, right? So that is our main intention of discussing. Otherwise we may conclude that, oh, doing all these things are very bad thing, but that is not what Bhagavad Gita is teaching. Bhagavad Gita is teaching very finer thing. Okay, tell me whether expecting honor or respect is a good thing
It's
or a bad
common
thing.
thing, Prabhuji.
What? Sorry.
Everybody, whoever in a certain position, they will expect respect from its subordinates, right?
Yes. So should we expect or not? That is my question.
We expectation will be always there. Yes.
So yes, your answer is yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in all scenarios, should we expect respect?
At least in official way, official
Yeah.
working,
So
it is
wherever there is
it is
official thing,
expected.
that time you have to expect respect and all.
In
Why?
homely, it
Because
is not needed.
yeah, because that is the position given to you. So that is understood. Like as a parent, if a child is not behaving properly, you can expect the respect from the child. You can direct it. A teacher can direct it. A king can do it. A person in position can do it. But let's say it is someone else's child, not your child. Then you need not expect any respect from that person, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
true.
So like that. So it depends on situation. So it is not black and white. It is like it depends on the context. Okay. Now mode of passion means to take care of wife and children and do a lot of effort to do this. So should we do or not do? Wife, husband, children, family, take care or not take care? Because this is what Prabhupada is saying, right? Here in mode of passion, um, in mode of passion, a lot of one has to do a lot of work. So should we do or not do?
We must do.
Okay, we must do. But then I'll show you. Last time we read this thing. Last time we read 13th chapter, right? In 13th chapter, 8 to 12, Krishna is saying that we should be detached from entangle with wife, children, home, and the rest. So how do we reconcile this thing? It's an activity of mode of passion, and at the same time, Krishna is saying we have to be detached. How does that happen?
If we marry, then some responsibility will be there, na Prabhuji, to
Yeah. So
satisfy
we
wife,
must
children,
do
and whatever it is.
with responsibility. This is right understanding. And not with attachment or entanglement. What does attachment entanglement means? Sometimes we hear some people, just because their wife or children forced that person, he started doing it. Too much entangled in wife and children in such a way that whatever they say, he will do. And then that person will neglect material duties, also neglect, and spiritual duties also one will neglect. So the attachment and entanglement should be zero, but one should be responsible in taking care of them, not to the extent that one gives up his duty, one gives up his spiritual duty also. Okay. So by doing such a thing with dharma, then the mode of passion won't affect us. That is the point. Mode of passion won't affect a kshatriya who is doing his dharma, a businessman who is doing his dharma, a married person who is doing his dharma. Same way, a married wife, woman who is doing her dharma, right? Then mode of passion won't affect. It may give some misery because that is the way it is, but it won't be. See, there is another thing. It won't be. Um, it won't be binding. Binding means. Mm, See, it won't be dissatisfaction, false pride, that kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, it won't be a greed. And okay. Okay. Now mode of ignorance is like iron chain, and sleep is given an example. So should we sleep or not? Because someone may say it is mode of ignorance, we should not sleep at all. What reasoning will you give? Yes.
We should sleep less.
How much less, how much more? One
Um,
number.
Healthy person will sleep 4 to 6 hours, Prabhuji, based on the tiredness of body.
Okay, okay. From the Ayurvedic perspective and from the Vedic perspective, it is minimum 6 hours of sleep one should do. Not more than 8. Okay, 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Now the question is when to sleep, because nowadays people sleep anytime.
But as per Ayurvedic, if you sleep at 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
9 to 12,
Yes.
if you sleep means
It's a
that is
deeper sleep.
equivalent to
Yeah.
6 hours of sleep, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Exactly. So it should be only in the night time. So even though sleep is a mode of ignorance, it is important, and it is only important in the night time. If we sleep in the daytime, it's
But
not
because
good.
of software or call center jobs, they will
Yeah, I
work
mean
in the
today's
night
jobs
and
are really, are really a challenge. I understand that, but still, from the Vedic perspective, Bhagavad Gita perspective, the sleep should be always in the night. Now, even intoxicants are mode of good ignorance. Should we take or not take?
intoxicants we should not take
Okay, yeah, this is very
because
clear. Yeah,
it affects the nervous system.
yeah, not take. Now, sometimes some medicines may have some intoxicants.
Yeah, sometimes it's
Yeah. So in medicines, it is okay. Why? Because medicine we are taking to cure, not to become drunk. So sometimes there it may. So now coming back to our mode of goodness. If suppose someone wants to become a philosopher, scientist, Brahmana, and they are all in mode of goodness, how are you going to guide them in dharma? What is the dharma here? Should
what
they?
is the difference between philosopher and brahmana, Prabhuji?
So you can say like Brahmana is Vedic follower. A philosopher is he is philosophizing, right? Like he will make his own philosophy of his life, and he may write some poems, some books of philosophy he may write, like that.
Okay.
But Brahmana is one who follows Vedic teachings. See, in the Vedic times, na, they were philosophers and they were called as Muni.
Okay.
Muni also means a philosopher. There is Sankhya philosophy. There is a lot of philosophies are there. So they make philosophies which make sense and all. So what is their dharma? So basically, their dharma is to align with Vedic teachings. They should not neglect Vedic teachings. Should not be separate from it. Even if one wants to become a scientist and all, they should align with Vedic teachings. They should not end up becoming atheist, right? Then with atheist, if even if one is in mode of goodness, it is not considered good. Okay. Okay, so we discuss this. We'll get back to our this. So any questions at this point? Any questions or comment? Okay, no. Okay, we read this mode of uh, ignorance. Okay. Hmm. Now, can someone read this text?
Okay, Prabhuji, I will read, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
Text 9 translation was son of Bharata. Mode of goodness conditions 1 to happiness. Passion condition 1 to fruitive action. And the ignorance covering one's knowledge binds one's to madness.
Yeah.
Purport.
So, mode of goodness, this is like a gold chain. And this gold chain gives us some happiness. Oh, I am covered with gold. And I gave you yesterday one example. Here, There's a prisoner and he's feeling very hot in the prison room. So what he does, he makes a hole in the wall and he installs an AC and then he sleeps in the same jail. So this is the problem with mode of goodness. One forgets that this world is actually not his home. One has to transcend this world, liberate from here. And he thinks he's very happy here for by not doing any sinful activity and all that, controlling his mind and senses, but he's not endeavoring for spiritual perfection. That is the problem with mode of goodness. Second is passion. Passion conditions one to fruitive actions. Fruitive actions means actions which are very intense endeavors, like Ravana. What kind of endeavoring he did? He cut his own head, right, 10 times, so he got 10 heads. Then later, to in the war, he allowed his brother to die, his brother's children to die, his own children to die, his favorite son to die, Indrajit, just because he wanted Sita, right? Intense endeavor, fruitive activities. So what he got in return? Misery, right? Ravana was never happy. He was always miserable. So that is the problem with mode of passion. And then ignorance covers binds to madness. And yesterday we discussed this madness um, through mode of ignorance. Sorry, this is Kumbhakaran. So now tell me how Kumbhakaran was actually influenced by madness. Yesterday we discussed this point. Madness. What mistake did Kumbhakaran did? Do you know what mistake he did?
No, Prabhuji.
So Kumbhakaran knew that Ravana was wrong. And he came and he chastised Ravana. He said, why did you capture Sita? Now you have brought destruction to whole of Lanka. Then after saying all this, what did he do? If you know the story of Ramayana, what did he do at the end?
Kumbhakaran will sleep 6 months and
No, that is
another
fine.
6 months.
When he got up and he chastised his brother, why did you capture Sita? That is
He
wrong
didn't
thing
do
to do.
no.
And then what he did after that?
That I don't know, Prabhuji.
You know, right? It is there in front of you. He went and he fought with Ram.
He fought with, he killed many soldiers.
He fought with Ram. So what was his mistake? Even though he knew that Ravana was wrong, he
As a
still
brother, he
sided.
supported
As a brother, he supported, but was he a good brother or a bad brother?
bad brother
Why you say bad?
because he was in the different path. It's not in a righteous path.
Yeah. So when you know what is right, but still you support it, then that is madness, right?
Yes, madness.
Like people support sometimes terrorists, and these terrorists are like they're killing innocent people. So those who support them, they're acting out of madness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that is mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance makes person he may think he's right, but actually that is madness.
Yes.
So that was his mistake. And mode of goodness was Vibhishan. What did he do? He immediately went and joined Lord Ram. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So we'll go to text number 10. Can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Sometimes mode of goodness become prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata. Sometimes mode of passion defeats the goodness and the ignorance. And at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy.
Okay. So tell me one thing. In the night, does sleep win over goodness and passion?
Yes,
Yeah. So, the whole day, every moment this is happening, the modes are fighting with each other. And depending on certain time and situation and place and circumstance, one mode will become stronger than other. And I took this example of sleep. Sleep becomes strongest in the night, right? So at that
yes,
point, ignorance will defeat goodness and passion. Can can you just mute
yes.
yourself? Yeah. Huh. So sleep will conquer goodness and passion in the night. Now similarly, there are other things also. Like everything that we see in this world is influenced by three modes of material nature. We took example music, anything you say, music, food, clothes, time, weather, anything you take, it will be influenced by three modes. Now let's talk about food. Now we'll take, here it doesn't make, there is goodness, passion, ignorance. Okay, tell me a music which is in mode of goodness. Tell me, give me an example of music which is in mode of goodness, which is in mode of passion, and which is in mode of ignorance.
Mode of goodness means which is
It is good.
good for,
It
which
is
it is
good.
good for
Yeah, it is.
listening.
Yeah, it is good for listening. Yeah, which kind of music is good for listening?
Carnatic music, Hindustani
Let's
music,
put
like
it like
all
classical music. And
classical music.
passionate
Yes.
music means it will make us more passion. It will make us
Hip
hanker
hop,
more. Yeah,
rock,
hip hop.
rock band.
Yeah, rock band. And what about ignorance? What kind of music will make us mad?
Ignorance music means don't know Prabhuji.
We don't know, but there is something called as heavy music. Heavy. Even I'm not remembering. It's called as. Um, let me just search for it. Heavy metal music, heavy metal, hard rock. It's called heavy metal music. Doop, 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 doop. You have heard this sound? Sometimes they play,
Ah,
right? Doop, 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 doop.
that's it.
Yeah, all that kind of is heavy metal music. And with the guitar, they will do like that, no? So that kind of
Yes,
music
yes,
makes person mad actually, right?
yes.
Okay, now tell me about food. Food which is good, which is in passion, which is in
Sattvic food.
ignorance. Meaning what kind of food? Vegetarian
Sattvic
food,
food. Vegetarian food.
grains, milk, right? Now passionate food. What kind of passionate food will be there? What do you think?
Spicy.
Spicy, yes. Spicy, sour, hot, hot food. So one of the characteristics of passion is to give misery. So how do you say spicy and hot food gives misery?
After eating, we won't feel comfortable in
Yeah,
stomach.
we won't feel comfortable. Next day morning, it will be trouble in the stomach, and while clearing, it will pain, right?
Yes,
And
yes, Prabhu.
ignorance food,
Non-vegetarian food.
non-veg. Yeah, that is right. It will turn us into mad. When somebody drinks something and get mad, Have you ever have you ever drunk drunk
No,
have you
Prabhuji.
ever drank grape juice?
Grape juices.
Now the same grape juice, if I keep it for months and years, and then I drink it, what will happen?
It is fermented. It is
It becomes what it becomes.
fermented.
It becomes alcohol,
Okay.
right? So alcohol makes us mad. Yes or no?
Yes.
You know, people lie on the ground, sometimes in the gutter, and they think this is best thing in the life, right? What we'll call that person? What we will call that person who is lying in the gutter?
Drunken.
Huh?
Drunkard.
Drunkard, right? Drunkard, and we'll say, "Kya pagal hai?" We'll say, "Na, mad." Yes or no?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So ignorance characteristic is one becomes mad. So alcohol, it can make people mad. Now, how come non-vegetarian person, non-veg food comes in ignorance? Yes. Why do you say
Yes.
non-veg food comes in ignorance?
No, no. What food, Prabhuji?
Non-vegetarian food.
It gives laziness after eating, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that is one of the reasons. Second thing is it is decomposing. It is
As per
decomposing.
Ayurvedic, our intestines are large intestine. We should not eat
Yes, we have very long
non-vegetarian
intestine.
food.
It's not like short intestine length, like the carnivorous animals.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, good. We know some things. Okay. Okay. Now what next? Clothes. What kind of clothes will give us goodness?
Cotton in summer, Prabhuji. Cotton
Okay, okay,
clothes
good.
in summer.
Good. Cotton clothes, clothes that are covering us, right? Cotton clothes that are covering us. See, this is it's a quality. If you are covered properly, but what kind of clothes gives passion? Modern fashionable clothes, right? Which actually uncover. And what about ignorance? No clothes. And you can say, animal fur. You have to kill animal to get it. Even in passion also the same thing can come. Okay, what about time? Which time is considered goodness, where goodness will rule?
Morning time, Prabhuji.
Morning
Brahma
time.
Murta.
And passion will be definitely afternoon.
Afternoon.
And sleep will come only in the evening, night.
Night.
Weather. What weather will be considered goodness?
First 6 months, Prabhuji. Uttarayana. Weather summer.
Yeah, kind of spring and summer. Hmm?
Spring
Spring
and
and
summer.
summer. Passionate. Sometimes rainy season is considered passionate. That's why we don't travel in rainy season. Ignorance. Definitely the winter season. Why? Because it influences to sleep more.
That's
Hmm? But again,
even in the winter we'll eat more only, no, Prabhuji.
yes, more means it is required, but not too much, right? Whatever is required.
Okay.
So, like this, every item we can start listing down, and it will be in more goodness, passion, ignorance. Now, when we come and know, okay, this is in goodness, this is in passion, this is in ignorance, we are going to avoid, right? Like, let's say I give food which is of three types. spicy, hot, non-vegetarian alcohol, vegetarian green milk, etc. Vegetables and flowers, whatever. Now, which one are you going to pick? Which one are you going to pick? Which food are you going to pick? If you have these three plates in front of you, plate which is goodness food, plate which is passionate food, plate which is ignorance food, which food are you going to pick up?
Goodness, Prabhuji.
Goodness. So once we start knowing, what are the goodness items, what are the passionate items, what are the ignorance items, what are we going to do? We are going to choose now which is the right thing to do. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So that's why, Krishna says in the start of this chapter that the sages knew this knowledge of the three modes, and by doing that they will achieve supreme perfection. So the sages, they know what is in mode of goodness, so they will always do activities which are in mode of goodness, and by doing that they will be away from passion and ignorance, and they can focus on spiritual life a lot in that time. Now you're getting, this is the power of this chapter.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hmm. Okay, now we'll move a little faster. We have still 8 minutes. Little faster move. Okay, just read the translations.
The manifestation of mode of goodness can be experienced when all gates of body are illuminated by knowledge.
Next.
O chief of Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrolled desire and anchoring develop.
See, great attachment. Like if you think about Ravana, he developed great attachment for Sita. Did he develop great attachment for Sita to worship her?
No, no, no.
No. But Hanuman also developed great attachment for Sita. But it was out of worship. It was out of motherly love. And fruitive activity, intense endeavor. We always hear Ravana did so much of endeavor and got all of his sons, everybody killed. Uncontrolled desire, hankering. I want Sita, I want Sita. For that, what he did? He disguised himself. He made Marichi into deer. His desire was uncontrolled. Why? Because he already had a beautiful wife. What was the name of the wife of Ravana?
Mandodari, Prabhuji.
She was very beautiful. But still, he went after other women. Okay, read this translation.
When there is increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusions are manifested.
Yeah, we discussed Kumbhakaran, right? Like the mistake he did was kind of madness, illusion. Now, what happens when we die also? Okay, yeah, read.
When one dies in mode of goodness, he attains to the pure
Higher
higher
planets or
planets
to the
of
great
great
sages.
sages.
Yeah. So, mode of goodness, if one develops mode of goodness, then at the time of death also he's in mode of goodness. He won't cry and, he won't say, uh, like, sometimes very rich people they say, I want few more years and all that. But he will die like, how Bhagavad Gita says, Dhiras tatra moyate. He won't be disturbed at the time of death. Next.
When one dies in mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom.
Yeah. So mode of ignorance will take us into animal kingdom, and mode of passion will take us to planets and families which are very very passionate. Read this 16th.
The result of pious action is pure and said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in mode of passion results in misery, and actions performed in mode of ignorance results in foolishness.
So when one does activity in passion, what will be the ending? Misery. When one does activity in mode of ignorance, what is the ending? Foolishness. And when he does it in mode of goodness, it will be pure, pious. It will be bring happiness to both. Like here, few things are explained. Like to build a skyscraper, one has to go so much trouble. Like I talked about loan, then they have to put slaves to construct that building. Recently, World Cup took place, right? The football World Cup took place, and then there were news that so many workers they died building those stadiums, right? You have heard those news? Have you heard those news?
No, no, Prabhuji. News nahi dekhte, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anyway, so much of misery takes place just to build that skyscraper. This is the way mode of passion works. Okay, mode of ignorance, animal killing, killing of cow, killing of animals, and they get pleasure looking at that. So definitely one will be then liable to become animal in the next life and then get killed. So there's a big karma behind it, right? So that is what mode of ignorance doing. Okay, read this. Where
From mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From mode of passion, greed develops. And from mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion.
yeah, from goodness, real knowledge. One can go towards spiritual knowledge. From mode of passion, greed develops. I want more, and if I get more, then I want more. If I get more, then I will get more. If I earn 1 million, I want 10 million. If I get 10 million, I want 100 million. Then I want 1 billion. Then I want 5 billion. Like this, it never stops. Mode of ignorance. What develops? Foolishness, madness, and illusion. Intoxicants, drugs, crime, all that comes in mode of ignorance. Read this, 18th.
Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upwards to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on earthly planets. And those in abominable mode of ignorance go down to hellish worlds.
Yeah. So, the destination is also decided. If person is good, right, will he go to jail? No. But if person is really bad and doing crime, then they will send him to hellish planets. In this world, in our country, in our city, where is the hellish planet? Jail, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is how the yeah 19, 20, 21, 22, 26. Okay. So this is how the three modes are affecting. We'll see more. Um, there are other things also to be seen. So let's say qualities. Qualities in mode of goodness is mind control, sense control, tolerance, determination, sticking to one's prescribed duties, truthfulness, mercy, careful study of the past and future, satisfaction in condition, generosity.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
any book related to mind control and sense control? Can you suggest me any book?
Mind control, sense control. See, we have to practice.
Practice is okay, but any book which is very small book like which cost around 50 rupees or 100 rupees. Any book is there?
Yes, there are books. I will put it in the chat.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Similarly, qualities in mode of passion: material desire, great endeavor, audacity, dissatisfaction, false pride, and in ignorance, intolerant anger, stinginess, violent hatred, hypocrisy, quarrel, depression, sleeping too much, false expectation, fear, laziness. The result we already discussed the result. This is pure, and happiness is misery. This is foolishness. Destination we discussed higher planets, animals, fruitive. Faith. In mode of goodness, one will worship then the demigods. In mode of passion, one will worship the demons. In mode of ignorance, one will worship the ghosts and spirits. Food we discussed, right? Grain, milk, which will give juicy, fatty, strength, health, happiness, satisfaction. Mode of passion will be like bitter, sour, salty, hot, pungent. And ignorance will be tasteless, old, decomposed, putrid, consisting or eminence, untouchable things. Now, like this, sacrifice, austerity, charity, these are also in three modes. They will all come in the 17th chapter. When we reach 17th chapter, no, these all will be discussed. In the 18th also, there are some points. So, like this, the three modes, when we come to know how they are influencing us, and if we make an effort to remain in mode of goodness, then we can be focused in spiritual life. This is the key of this chapter, right? Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, any question at this point?
No question, Prabhuji, at this point.
Okay. 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 So, thank you very much.